Tomorrow is the release of the new Zombies map, Firebase Z. So, with that being said, I've done this before like months ago, and I want to do this again just because opinions change and there's a new map. But I want to make a tier list of every single Zombies map that has ever come out, Treyarch that is, and I want to rank them. I'm hoping that Firebase Z that comes out tomorrow will be within this god tier list. So, with that being said, let's get this started. All right, so here we got the tier list maker. I pulled this from a channel, Tim Hansen YouTube channel. So they're all out of order as well. As you can see, none of them, nothing is like in order. Soon find out. Transit number 1. You'll find out where I'm putting that bad boy. But 2008 was when this map came out. And with a lot of the OG maps, I think you got to put Noct in pretty decent. I don't think it's a really good map, especially now considering what we've gotten in recent years. But it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent, you know? It's some good fun. You can still have your good fun going back and playing this map alongside other maps. And I would also put where's Verrückt? Verrückt, I would say pretty decent as well. I do believe, wherever it is, Shi No Numa is really good. I am a Shi No Numa simp, let me tell you. I absolutely love this map with like every ounce of my body. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't put it in God or Great, but I think it's just such a good map. It's so simple, but it's so much fun. I probably have more memories on this map than any other map I've ever played, to be honest. I mean, maybe Ascension and Moon, but we'll get to that. Okay, what's after Der Riese? Der Riese, you gotta put in Great. Der Riese is a great map. I love I mean, who doesn't love Der Riese? Whether it's the Giant or Der Riese. I don't even know if the Giant is on here, but such a good map. Always good fun to go back and play in that map, you know? And what's after that? Kino? Man, Kino, dude. It's between God and Great. I know there's a lot of like these zombie YouTubers who are like, you guys just let nostalgia get the best of you. It's not that great of a map. Yeah. And it's like, dude, shut up. I'm putting in God. I think Kino, bro, there hasn't been a more replayable zombies map like ever. I guess because of the time that it was released at, this being so innovative at the time. I don't care what anyone says. Kino, who doesn't love a good game of Kino, you know? So this is where my Black Ops 1 biases are going to come into play, because I love Black Ops 1 more than like any other game. Speaking of, oh wait, we had to put 5. I forgot about 5. 5, I'm going to put it right here. It's above Noct, but it's below Shi No Numa for me. I think 5 is pretty decent. 5 is... There's times where I really like it and times where I always hated playing it. But I think it's a pretty decent map. You know, I think it's very frustrating, especially for new players. This map is so hard, and I guess that's probably part of the appeal, to be honest with you. So I think that's a fair rating for me, at least. Again, this is my opinion. So, but as I was going to do, but I forgot about 5, Ascension. You never really liked any BO1 maps aside from Kino? Bruh, you're capping. Because for me, Ascension is God tier. And the reason is here's the thing. Is it as innovative as any other map ever? Not really. But for me, and people are going to say, oh, that's just nostalgia getting the best. Maybe it is. I don't care. I have not had so many great memories playing a map than like Ascension, Kino, Shino. These maps are so great for me. I'm not putting Call of the Dead bad. Do you know where I am putting Call of the Dead, though? Since it's up next. Really good. I love Call of the Dead. I think it's a great map. I don't think it's a great as these maps, but I think it's a really good map. It's got some issues, you know, with the fog being annoying, George Romero being annoying. But I think it's a good time. A lot of the OG maps are just good fun, and I could boot them up and have my fun with any of these maps, which is what is so fun about them. After Call of the Dead is Shangri-La. I'm going to put Shangri-La in really good as well. Shangri-La, I think, is a really good map. This map has aged like fine wine. This map used to be garbage tier for a lot of people, but as time went on, people realized it's really not that bad of a map. It's just difficult. That's the problem with this map. It's difficult, and that's why people don't like it. I think it's obviously aesthetically one of the coolest looking maps of all time. probably my favorite wonder weapon of all time in this one. So I put Shingerlan really good. So this is where I'm probably going to lose a couple of you guys, but I'm putting Moon in the great tier. And here's my reasoning as to why. You remember how I said I haven't had so much fun playing a game when I played like Ascension Kino and those maps? Moon was up there with that. I would get on out of school every single day, and I would get on and play Moon with all my friends, and we would have an absolute blast. No other map held our interest. Couldn't compare to Moon at the time. It really couldn't. And I'm not one of those people who don't think nostalgia should be part of your factor. I think nostalgia, honestly, I don't understand why when people are ranking maps or ranking other games and stuff, they try so hard to like push nostalgia to the side. It's like, if nostalgia is a part of like, you know, why this map is great for you, then that's so be it. And that's what it is. Moon is a nostalgic map that I had so much fun with. Has an incredible amount of flaws, but it doesn't matter. It was fun. It's kind of like Transit. Transit is, I'm sorry for anyone who loves Transit. Transit is so bad that it's pretty decent, you know? Speaking of, Transit is literally like that movie that is so bad that it's funny, you know? Like Transit is The Room with Tommy Wiseau of the Zombies maps. It is so bad that it's actually fun to play. This map has more flaws than any other map probably ever made. You did Transit wrong. What is good about this map? Like, in retrospect, what is good about it? The layout sucks. The denizens suck. The boss zombies suck. The lava sucks. The bus system is terrible. The wonder weapon is the worst wonder weapon of all time. There's nothing good about it, and that's what makes it pretty good. I can't think of like one thing I would say that this map did that was like actually like, you know what, they did that well. The bus is the best feature ever. The bus is terrible. Dude, the bus is so bad. How many times have you gotten out at the diner to hit the mystery box? You're there for like 3 seconds. The bus just takes off, and then you have to run through the fog with the denizens. Oh, it's so garbage, bro. Yeah, that was the fun part. Oh, yeah, again, but it was terrible. That's why I said it was so bad, but that's what made it fun. So that's why I put in pretty decent. Okay, what's up next? Die Rise. Man, Die Rise, I'm not going to put it in garbage because I think there's a select few that deserve garbage, but I will put it in bad. I had a lot of fun with this map with a lot of other maps, but even then I can't even discredit what it is. It is a bad map. Why isn't Town on this list? I don't know. I think probably because whoever made this list probably just kept Transit. If Town was on this list, it'd probably be in really good or a great tier, to be honest with you. Because Town is just is so much fun. It is such a good map. But Die Rise, man, Die Rise was bad. Die Rise was not good. There's so many flaws about this. Underwhelming, like the map was underwhelming. The new bosses, the jumping jacks are underwhelming. Who's Who, the worst perk ever made, is on this map. This map just is not that good. It's not garbage though. I don't think it's garbage. We'll get to garbage tier in a minute. Believe me on that one. Wait, is Mob next? Yeah, Mob's next. And where's Mob? Mob of the Dead is God tier. Mob of the Dead does not belong anywhere aside from the very top. I don't care what anyone says. Arguably the best map ever made. I mean, atmospherically is the coolest map like ever, and it's not even close. The characters are really well written and have like super just memorable lines. The boss zombies were challenging but felt rewarding. The different variations of the wonder weapon, the Blundergat. Oh my gosh, this map just had everything. One of the cooler Easter eggs out there. The way to get the Pack-a-Punch is just bar none coolest thing ever. I love that. Speaking of God tier, Origins. I'm gonna put it right behind Mob of the Dead though. I don't think it's as strong as Mob of the Dead, personally, but I can eat. This is the area where people could flip-flop these two, and I would completely agree one way or another. And speaking of Origins, I still don't think it's the top 2. I think it's top 3, and I'll get to my reasonings why. But I thought, you know, Easter egg was unbelievable, hard as shit at the time. It still is hard, but if you got through it, it was probably one of the most rewarding things ever. And the staffs in my opinion, is still the coolest wonder weapons in any map ever. I think the staffs are dope as hell. So I think it deserves that spot for sure. Okay, next up, Shadows of Evil. Shadows of Evil, I don't think it's God personally. A lot of people have their arguments as to why it's the best. I personally think it's great. And I know it seems weird putting Shadows of Evil below Ascension and Kino. This is my nostalgic biases coming into play, okay? So this is just an opinion, so don't get it twisted. But I think Shadows of Evil is a great map. It has so many good qualities of it. You know, the Wonder Weapon being incredible, the cool... Again, when I said aesthetically coolest map ever, Shadows might be competing with Mob of the Dead as the most aesthetically coolest map ever. Characters were a little lackluster. I think that definitely notches it down a few. And I wasn't too big of a fan of the whole, like, Cthulhu, like, type stuff that was going on. I remember seeing the trailer for Shadows of Evil and seeing, like, tentacles all over the place. And I was like, what am I watching? And that kind of carried over to this day. I don't think that really belongs in zombies personally. So I'm going to put Shadows of Evil there. Where's Der Eisendrache? There it is. Der Eisendrache, man. I think that is the second greatest map of all time. This map has virtually no flaws at all. Like, it could easily be the greatest map of all time. Great Easter egg, great writing, easy to play map. You know, it took Origins, kind of dumbed it down a bit and kind of refined it. You know, they made the panzers not so difficult. The bows are very similar to the staffs. It's literally just Origins 2.0. Simpler, cleaner. I think it's just a better map in my opinion. And I don't think it's as good as Mob, because Mob, there's something about Mob. What's next? It's Zetsubou. Zetsubou is I would put it I'd put it above Train. It's a pretty decent map. Zetsubou, again, I like it. I like the atmosphere. I like it because it reminds me of like Shinonuma, which I love Shinonuma. The Wonder Weapon didn't feel really unique. The boss zombies were kind of a pain in the ass. But other than that, you know, Black Ops 3 just had bomb-ass maps. I think Zetsubou should go in pretty decent. There's not much else I can explain, really. I really don't know what it is. I think everything I said kind of sums it up. It's okay, but it's not bad at all. It's definitely not bad. What's next? Revelations. I don't know, dude. I'm not a big fan of Revelations, at all. But it's not a bad map. Where do I put Revelations? I'm gonna put it behind. I'm gonna put Revelations in the really good. I'm just gonna put it in pretty decent. I can't muster myself to put it in really good, because Revelations to me is like, it's better than Zetsubou in my opinion. I think it's more replayable, and that's definitely a huge factor. Revelations to me is like the Rise of Skywalker of zombies maps. All it is fan service. You know, there's nothing original. It's just to make people happy, and it didn't really hit the head, you know, the nail on the head. It's just, you know, between Revelations and Zetsubou, which map I would play over time, it would be Revelations, because it's got a more fun strategy, but I don't think it's that great. So we're on to Black Ops 4, right? This is where it gets interesting. Black Ops 4, what a mess, right? We'll start off with 9. 9 is a great map. A lot of people are gonna give Black Ops 4 a lot of garbage because of its mechanics and everything, but if you look past that a little bit and you actually look at 9 is actually 9 is one of those maps, had it been on the Black Ops 3 engine, would probably be a god tier. And there's another map on here that if it had Black Ops 3 engine would be unbelievable. But I think 9 is a great map. I think, you know, it has its flaws, but it's got a cool Easter egg, and it's got everything a great zombies map wants. It's held back by the gameplay of Black Ops 4, pretty much with every single map. Classified on the very bottom of pretty decent. It's like just a remake, should I say, of 5. It's not as good as 5 because it's just, again, the Black Ops 4 mechanics and gameplay itself brings this bad boy down a couple of tiers. And all these maps, like I said. It upgraded the Winter's Howl, made that better. Has a better version of the ray gun, like in Black Ops 4, the entirety of it. It's a decent map. It's almost bad, but it's not, you know. Putting those two right in garbage, bro. Fucking hell. That hurts to say. The Voyage of Despair, I have no problem putting in garbage. I think Voyage of Despair, I don't think there is one single quality of it that I like. I think it's probably one of the worst maps, if not the worst map of all time. Blood of the Dead is just a spit in the face. It took the greatest map of all time and somehow made it one of the worst maps of all time. Nothing about this map hit at all for me. I remember logging into this map for the first time. I was playing with my brother at the time. And he loaded in, and we both loaded in. We're like, what the fuck am I playing? Our HUD was just littered with a bunch of nonsense. The writing and the characters were really good at this map, but everything else was just absolute trash, bro. I also forgot about Buried and Nuketown in this list. It just got buried in, so I'll put those in. Don't you worry. Alpha Omega, bad. The bad map. This is so sad to see. Oh, I forgot about Dead of the Night. Dead of the Night, in my opinion, is the worst zombies map of all time. So we'll do that. Dead of the Night. Speaking of not having any redeeming qualities at all, Dead of the Night. The boss zombies were horrendously obnoxious. Worse than any other map I've ever dealt with. The atmosphere was kind of cool, but the gameplay, like I said, of Black Ops 4. I couldn't even tell you what the Easter egg of this map was. The wonder weapon was like a laser pistol or some shit. I don't even remember that. This map sucked. This map was the worst map. If I could play one map, never play one map for the rest of my life, it would be Dead. But we're gonna move on to Alpha Omega. I think it's bad. I don't think it's as bad as Die Rise. I mean, I think it's worse than Die Rise when it comes to bad. Alpha Omega was unoriginal, uninspired. Wonder weapons were meh. The writing was just meh. A lot of this map was just meh. But it's not decent either. You didn't even get any BO4 DLC. Don't feel bad about it. It sucked. Ancient Evil, I think, is a really good map, actually. I'm gonna put it below Call of the Dead just because Call of the Dead has got a little special place in my heart. But Ancient Evil is, again, if this map specifically was on the BO3 engine, it might be the greatest map of all time. Ancient Evil, there's a good Easter egg, good wonder weapons, good atmosphere, a lot of things. Again, it's just, if it wasn't for the Black Ops 4 engine and the mechanics and gameplay, it wouldn't be notched this low. But it's just, that's how it is, you know? Tagged or Toten, I think it's pretty decent. I'm going to put it right there. I think Tagged or Toten is a decent map. I've had a good amount of fun playing it when I do play it, which is not often, but when I did play it, it was pretty decent. I thought the Easter egg was okay. The wonder weapons on the map were really underwhelming. The characters are kind of underwhelming as well, but I guess it's just, since it's a Call of the Dead remake, really familiar map. It's like Alpha Omega, uninspired, but it's just better. So I forgot about a bunch of maps down here, and I think it's just because they got littered in with all the mess. Speaking of great maps, Gorod Krovi. I'm going to put Gorod Krovi above 9, but below these ones, for my opinion. Gorod Krovi is really, it's a great map. Wonder Weapon, dope. Atmosphere, unbelievable. I just think there's a couple, like the Valkyrie drones and some of the layout of the map, in my opinion, kind of notch it down from being a great map or higher on the great list. I mean, God list. But I think it's a great map. I don't think anyone can hate Gorod Krovi. I mean, if you want to put in really good, sure, but I can't see anyone putting it below pretty decent or bad, you know, or anything like that. That's just crazy. Nuketown, I'm going to put right behind here in the really good category. It's just a fun survival map, man. The perk system thing is a little wonky, and if they could refine that a little bit, that would be cool. But other than that, it's a fun map. You know, people have their fun with this good. It's a good map. So Buried is it's a great map. I'm probably gonna put Buried above Moon. I love Buried so much. This is the one. If I could ask for any map to be remade, it's probably gonna be Buried, because Buried is just, it's like the best casual map of all time. Buried is a god tier for you though. I completely understand that. If people want to put this map in god tier, I understand. Don't get me wrong, I really do. Die Maschine, bro. The most recent entry to this list until tomorrow. I don't know if I want to put it in great or really good, because it's a good map, man. You know what? I'm going to put it in the top of really good. I think Die Maschine is a really, really good map. It's got, again, a familiar layout, but a new layout at the same time with Nacht, but the outside parts make it a lot of fun. One of the coolest spawn rooms of all time. It's really open, really fun to play. You know, the Wonder Weapon is pretty cool, even though it's not useful, but you got the ray gun. Easter egg, this map is simple. It kind of brought back the simplicity of zombies that a lot of people had been missing. And I think they did it really well with the tier upgrades, the new perk system, everything like that. I think this map just overall shined. Again, the only problem with this map is not the map itself, is the lack of content surrounding the map, you know? There wasn't a second map at launch. There wasn't, you know, really any game modes. I mean, Jingle, Hells, and Cranked, if you want to count those, because I didn't really like them that much. But it's a good map. It's a really good map. I wouldn't say it's great. I'd say because it's not original, really, in that sense. And then we have Firebase Z, everybody. The new map that comes out tomorrow. I'm hoping we can put it up here. I'm hoping. I really am. If we could put it up here, that'd be great. Even if we could put it in any of these areas, that'd be good. Within the 3-tiered, that'd be awesome. No, not at all. I'm saying I'm hoping that it's going to be God tier. It's just a hope. I seen the trailer. It looks interesting. I wouldn't say by the trailer I'm like, oh, that's going to be the greatest map of all time. I'm just hoping by the time everyone gets to play this map, we all are like, yep, unanimously throw it up into God.